Last week, the good guys at Honda gave me a call and said, Alex, we see that you've got a Prelude. Do you want to drive our fully restored one from our heritage fleet? But not only that, do you want to drive something very special, namely this Honda NSX?
I wouldn't get too excited, mate. It is an auto.
Are you shitting me? No!
Take it out, enjoy it.
Let's go. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in Honda's very own, fully restored Prelude. There are three big differences between this one and our one. The first difference is that it actually has paint, a £6,000 paint job. How did they do that? The second difference is the fact that this very car does not have four-wheel steering, which, if you go full lock on both cars, looks like this. And the third difference, we have a manual gearbox. So let's have a little row through the gears, shall we? And find out, does it suit the car? The first thing you notice is that it makes the car feel even more slow than the automatic does. When you got the manual, you want to rag it a little bit and then you realise, oh, the engine's limitations are there, are they? Wow, that really is slow. Let me just demonstrate. 4,000 RPM, 5,000 RPM. 6, well, it's making some noises. Let's change up into third gear, and we're not even doing 60 miles an hour. I really do like it with a manual gearbox, so I think we need to get one as well, don't you? Yeah? We definitely need one. It just feels more tight and more ready to go and more nimble and like, oh, let's go play on some country roads, but don't thrash me too hard. It's one of those cars that you can have fun with at really, really low speeds, and I'm talking below 60 miles an hour. Anything above that, forget it. You know how I said that the brakes on ours were really spongy and it felt like I was treading in dog poo? Ugh. Ugh. It's exactly the same in this one as well. Maybe Honda, in their wisdom, thought, it's so slow, why give them brakes? There's no point. Even with the crap brakes though, it's a car you just really want to thrash, and when you do, oh, come on! Nothing happens. But with a turbo, maybe, this could be awesome. Then again, we could think about K20 swapping it for some mad VTEC. Could we be on to a winner here? Speaking of VTEC, let me now move on to the car that, let's face it, you click play for. This is the original Honda NSX. It is the oldest NSX in the country, 1988. Also, you thought these things were rare, but they're not as rare as the Prelude because there are 136 of these. There are only 30 of the Preludes. Right, under the bonnet, you will not find an engine because the NSX, as everybody knows, is mid-engined. In these early cars, we've got a 3-litre V6, 256 horsepower. The later cars had more power with a 3.2 V6. And as you all know, this one is mated to a 3-speed automatic gearbox. I feel like I'm missing out here a little bit. Now, this car isn't the fastest thing in the world by modern standards, but back in the late 80s, it was set to go toe-to-toe against Ferrari. It was the first mass-produced car with a fully aluminium body, and it feels great. The driving position is awesome, the noise is awesome, you're really low, the engine is behind you, and it's also like nice to drive this and kind of draw some inspiration. We just need to make the Prelude more like this, more robust. Ah, the noise! Yeah! Oh, to drive an NSX, amazing. These things new were 60 grand, and now this one's insured for £100,000. It's pretty priceless. The ride quality is amazing. The brakes are really strong. It's a car that you could cruise in all day, get out, and you just feel like, I feel good. I knew that I would. It is actually a properly quick car, and the faster you go in this as well, kind of tighter and tauter it feels. It's a car that you have to drive really hard to get the best out of. It's got a top speed of over 160 miles an hour as well, so it's geared for speed. The great thing about older cars like these, especially older Hondas, is that the dashboards are super low. I've got great visibility out front. Out the back, not so much, because I've got an engine behind me. So what are the takeaways from this video then? Firstly, our third generation Prelude deserves either forced induction or a K20, as well as a manual gearbox, because no matter how hard you thrash a B20 motor, nothing happens. Either way, I'd love to know your thoughts, so leave a comment below, and if anyone's got experience with swaps like this, then email me on projectprelude@carthrottle.com. As for what we learned driving the NSX, well, that's a bit more of a tenuous link, but it's that car's robustness that I want to amp up in the Lude. Now, you may remember last week I asked you guys to suggest names for our Prelude. You guys have a very, how shall I put it? Active imagination, so we've picked 5 names that we can use without being arrested, which you can see in our poll. So cast your votes and christen our car! Once you're done with that, let's also decide on a colour. Again, we're attempting a DIY respray later in the series, so pick wisely and we'll do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Project Prelude. I want to say a massive thank you to Honda for providing these 2 amazing cars. Remember, you can watch the rest of the series by clicking this link. You can subscribe to Car Throttle over here, and don't forget to check out the Car Throttle shop down there. I am out of here.